We're celebrating Angry Birds' 10-year anniversary. Today, Rovio have sponsored us to take these classic Angry Birds games into this family to see what they make of them.
Oh, hi! Boys, Annie's here!
We're going to be starting on Angry Birds Friends, looking at Angry Birds 2, looking at Angry Birds Match free game before having a good go at Dream Blast.
What is it? Oh, what are we playing?
It's Angry Birds.
Oh, I know this. It's Angry Birds Friends.
So as you can see, the first of the games we tried out was Angry Birds Friends. This is one of the Angry Birds games where you fling the birds at the piggies in their structures, the classic gameplay that started it all off. And in this version, you have to accumulate these cards in the top, which give you special access to certain Angry Birds friends, as the title suggests, that give you special abilities.
Ooh, yes, you did it!
Some of these zoom through the structures and completely massacre them. Some of them you have to be a bit more tactical in terms of where you're going to place a particular bomb. Or some of them give you this special scope so you can see exactly where you're going to be hitting that target. It's a nice way to extend that gameplay. And as you can see, the family here had a lot of fun playing it.
He just destroyed everything up, so I didn't really need him. Why don't we try Angry Birds 2?
So as the kids have said, let's move on to Angry Birds 2. And with it, we come to a game that's a little bit more advanced. The levels are more structured and there's more of a sense of campaign and progression. Now in this, rather than in recruiting loads of friends, you have to win these particular cards. Now this has a similar effect in giving you special abilities, but the level of gameplay and the way you have to interact with these different abilities is much more involved. So accruing those cards and winning them as you get through the levels is really key to progressing in Angry Birds 2. And as you can see, the family had a lot of fun figuring out the levels and more of a kind of a puzzle mechanic rather than just battering whatever was in front of them with the Angry Birds bombs.
Oh! I'm gonna get it with the bomb guy.
His name's...
Yeah. What's that?
And seeing the game played in the family isn't something that I often get a chance to do, but I really like the way that not just the kids but mum as well was keen to play, and they're all celebrating each other's victories and really working as a team to progress through these levels, because you need a variety of skills, not just targeting but also deciding how you're going to take down the different towers, which of the cards you're going to use on which level. But as well as these classic style flinging Angry Birds games, we also wanted to have a look at some of the other Angry Birds puzzle games. The first of which is this match free game, which as you can see, the family soon figured out what you had to do.
I know, I think you have to match up to beach things.
Oh.
And as they worked together, they had to figure out what was the different strategy. So this isn't flinging birds at the towers. You have to match up the different gems, the different seaside items, so that they line up and so that they don't disappear. But of course, you have Angry Birds characters in this scenario, bringing down with special abilities. And if you use those together, you can chain them up and get really high scores. So it's the game where you might go back and play other levels that you've already played and actually see if you can get a better score second time through. And in the family, that's a nice way to compete and support each other as well.
Blue one down.
Yeah.
Okay, that was what it was like. Oh! Oh my goodness.
You do it.
Oh, hang on. There's two Angry Birds next to each other. What
Yeah,
happens
let's
when
do
you
it.
do those together? Woo!
And as you progress through the game, you get more and more different items along with those Angry Birds characters. And here you can see we've got these new TNT boxes that you can trigger to blow things up.
Do
Oh,
the
what happens
TNT.
when you go with
TNT.
Bird
Do
and
it.
TNT. Oh, it explodes. That guy is gonna get it.
Wait, do that.
But we're trying to get this one.
This one.
Oh yeah. Oh, that one.
Get bombed.
So with a bit of application and a bit of forward planning, you can actually get really good at these levels, as you can see.
Yay, we did it!
On from here, we were keen to have a look at our final game, Dream Blast. This is similar to that matching game, but you have a well of bubbles that come down and you have to match the different colours. And again, there's lots more strategy here than it first appears. And the boys were quick to figure out how you could actually create much bigger popping explosions than just pressing the single buttons by collecting up those Angry Birds characters.
Same time.
Yeah,
Ah.
because... That's what I meant.
Oh.
Woohoo!
Level complete.
And Dream Blast is another Angry Birds game that develops with you as you understand the different mechanics. Here we've got various items in the level, this spinning wheel, the chain you have to try and disengage to get that egg down to the bottom. And of course, at the very bottom, you've got those special attacks that you can also trigger as well. So there's many layers to this. And as you play it as a family, either the kids or the parents, you soon figure out how to do it. And each time you do that, there's a real sense of reward. So I think this is a nice addition to our tour of Angry Birds games.
We're gonna get a level complete.
So boys, which one do you think was the best one?
Angry Birds one.
You liked the Angry Birds Friends one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Angry Birds too.
Yeah, and I think I liked Angry Birds Dream Blast, but the other one was good too. Angry Birds Match was good too, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
So as we leave our family to carry on with their playing of these various Angry Birds games, I hope that was useful, a bit of a trip down memory lane to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Angry Birds. There really is a different Angry Birds games for whoever you've got in your family, whether that's the kind of classic Angry Birds 2 flinging birds at towers defended by pigs, the Angry Birds Friends twist where you've got to try and employ specific powers from your Angry Birds menagerie, or some of the more sort of simpler, I guess, Angry Birds games, that match challenge where you're just matching different coloured items, or that Angry Birds Dream Blast where you've got many different kind of arcadey things going on as you pop those bubbles and make your way through the different levels. Do let us know which your favourite Angry Birds game is in the comments below, and we'll be back with more videos soon.